opening. Standing on the ridge of Kronotsky Volcano and looking down, you see a landscape that is hard to read with your eyes alone. Kikpinik Volcano is not far away, rising 1,552 meters above sea level, its slopes covered in year-round snow moss and sparse meadows. And at its foot, along the upper reaches of the Geyser River, lies a valley about 2 kilometers long and only 100 to 500 meters wide. From a distance, sulfur deposits have dyed its slopes yellow and red, like a haphazardly smeared palette. In an age when air travel is commonplace, this valley remains one of the most unsettling places you can reach. Not because of cliffs, not because of bottomless crevasses, but because you see nothing at all. Animals walk in and die inside. Humans too. Biologists have collected more than 200 animal carcasses here, 12 species of mammals, 15 species of birds, and countless insects. Bears, foxes, wolverines, Steller's sea eagles, from small herbivorous rodents to apex predators at the top of the food chain. None are spared. But what makes this place different from other dangerous places on Earth is this. It has no guards, no fences, not even a warning sign that says danger. It lies there quietly like an ordinary patch of grassland. This is one of the world's greatest puzzles, and what makes it even more chilling is that after the Russian Valley of Death was declared off-limits, that quietness remained. The poison gas pool beneath the volcano. The Kamchatka Peninsula is one of the most volcanically active regions on Earth. More than 300 volcanoes are located here, 29 of which are still frequently active. Kikpinik is one of them, a stratovolcano whose last eruption occurred around 1550 AD, more than 400 years ago. But the magma chamber beneath it has never truly cooled. At the foot of Kikpinik lie two geothermal areas. One is the famous Valley of Geysers. The other is the Valley of Death. The valley floor is underlain by sulfur-bearing rock layers, and the exposed elemental sulfur continuously releases underground gases. Research conducted in the 1970s and 1980s showed that the volcanic gas mixture includes hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon disulfide. When the wind blows from the west, the canyon's exit is blocked by the mountain. These gases, 38% denser than air, cannot rise and disperse with the wind. Instead, they settle layer by layer in the low-lying areas, forming an invisible, odorless lethal lake. When the spring snow melts, the cruelest chain reaction begins. The first thawed riverbanks attract birds and small rodents coming to drink. They inhale the poison and rapidly develop symptoms of poisoning, dizziness, weakness, convulsions, and die of suffocation within minutes to tens of minutes. Their bodies lie on the ground. Within hours, foxes, crows, and Steller's sea eagles are drawn in. The predators smell carrion, but they cannot smell the deadly gas mixed with it. They land, approach, feed, and then collapse from the same poison. Next, bears and wolverines follow the food chain into the valley. This is not an accident. It is an ecological death loop, driven by poison gas. The thick sulfur deposits on the valley floor also create another almost impossible phenomenon. The rate of decomposition is extremely slow, because the toxic atmosphere suppresses even bacterial activity. Some animal carcasses remain exposed on the ground for months or even years, still retaining some soft tissue. The intact bear skeletons and partially decayed bird bodies make this place look less like nature than a surrealistic museum display. The scientists themselves felt the threat. During field studies, they experienced headaches, a burning sensation in the back of the neck, dizziness, and general weakness. They could only escape by retreating to higher, better ventilated ground. Researchers from the University of Glasgow believe the primary cause of rapid animal death may be carbon dioxide, a colorless, odorless gas that can render a person unconscious and kill them without warning. Hydrogen sulfide has an even more insidious trait. At low concentrations, you can smell its rotten egg odor, but at high concentrations, it directly paralyzes your olfactory nerves, making you believe the air is perfectly clean. 30 lives and one boy. The history of human deaths in the Valley of Death dates back to the mid-century. In 1950, a group of local hunters tracking a reindeer herd accidentally walked into this mountain hollow. 6 hours later, only one person walked out alive. In 1975, 4 members of a Soviet Geological Survey team entered the heart of the valley without any protective equipment. All died. According to official statistics, as of 2018, a total of 32 people have lost their lives here. But the story that spread most widely was a tragedy involving a child. Near the Valley of Death lay a small village called Strelkov, only about 600 meters from the valley. Strangely, the villagers who lived so close remained safe. Some speculated that the local topography might create a natural gas barrier, protecting this small inhabited area. But one day, a boy from the village went to pick berries on a hill outside town. Chasing a beautiful bird, he ran into the valley. The adults waited and waited. The child never came back. There is nothing sensational about this story. No violence, no screaming, no blood. In that moment, the boy might not have felt anything at all. He simply felt a little tired. His feet became heavy, and he sat down in a patch of flowers, never to stand up again. This is more terrifying than any horror movie, because what kills you is not a monster, not a trap. It is something you cannot see or smell. Air is the last thing that should harm you, but here, every breath you take is a countdown to death. After the helicopter crashes. In August 2005, a helicopter crash in Kamchatka shocked all of Russia. A Mi helicopter carrying 22 people lost contact. It was soon confirmed to have crashed on a mountainside about 900 meters high. No one survived. Rescue teams found 17 bodies in the wreckage. The official report attributed the accident to poor visibility and severe weather. Another serious crash occurred in August 2021 when the same model of sightseeing helicopter fell into Kurile Lake, a deep lake inside a volcanic crater. While attempting to land, 8 people died. On August 31, 2024, tragedy struck again. A Mi helicopter carrying 22 people crashed into a ridge at an altitude of 3,000 feet shortly after taking off from Vachkashets volcano. All 19 passengers and 3 crew members were killed. The governor of Kamchatka Krai confirmed the accident in a video statement. The official explanations for helicopter crashes in Kamchatka have always been bad weather, poor visibility, or pilot error. But in the local folklore surrounding the Valley of Death, another version of the story persists. According to these stories, in certain years local pilots received unusual notices. Under certain wind conditions, do not fly at low altitude over the Valley of Death and its surrounding areas. The official version never acknowledges this, but some retired military personnel have mentioned in informal settings that toxic gases above the valley sometimes rise with the mountain winds, forming an invisible density trap that cannot be detected by instruments. When a helicopter lowers its altitude to land or hover, its engines may suck in high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide or carbon dioxide, causing a sudden power drop. The pilot may not even realize what is happening before the altimeter begins to fall. These claims cannot be verified, but one fact disturbs the locals. Kamchatka is a vast peninsula, yet the locations of helicopter crashes seem to cluster in certain areas. A secret guarded by nature. The Kranatsky Nature Reserve was established in 1934, but the Valley of Death remained undiscovered for a long time. It was officially confirmed only on July 28, 1975, when a team of volcanologists led by Vladimir Leonov entered the valley. 3 days later, A ranger named Vladimir Koryaev also stepped into it from another direction. After its discovery, dozens of scientific expeditions were sent to the Valley of Death to unravel its mystery. In 1983, a research paper recorded that within 5 years, the remains of 13 bears, 9 foxes, and many other animals had been found in this area. The dead animals typically showed cardiac ischemia, lung congestion, and death by suffocation. All deaths occurred between May and October, the period when the valley is free of snow and the release of toxic gases from volcanic fissures is most concentrated. The scientists concluded that what killed these animals was not disease, not starvation, and certainly not intraspecific conflict, but a highly toxic mixture of volcanic gases. Hydrogen sulfide, cyanide, and carbon dioxide. At the bottom of the valley, the concentration is high enough to kill any large mammal within minutes. But even after the mystery was solved, the Valley of Death still holds too many things that cannot be explained. Why is the nearby village, less than a kilometer away, safe? Why do animals repeatedly walk into this death trap, neither fleeing nor showing obvious signs of fear? Some speculate that certain components of the poison gas might cause partial paralysis, affecting the animal's brains and motor nerves, but this has never been conclusively proven. Even more puzzling is a small episode from 1975. Viktor Deryagin, a student of Leonov, revealed that shortly after the Valley of Death was discovered, Soviet military personnel arrived by helicopter, took away some strange samples, and quickly left. What did they collect? What conclusions did they reach? The official archives are completely blank. Looking outward. Today, the Valley of Death is closed to tourists. The Kranatsky Nature Reserve has set up a viewing platform several kilometers away from the valley. Visitors can gaze at the patchy, colorful depression through telescopes and listen to guides tell stories about hunters and bears. Beyond that, there is nothing they can do. But what is truly unsettling is not death itself. It is that this valley is like a corpse lying on the living room floor. Everyone walks around it with their eyes closed, pretending it does not exist. You know it is there. You know where its entrance is. You even know how to avoid it, yet you still cannot understand why it works the way it does. Animals cannot organize scientific expeditions. Every spring, when the snow melts and the frozen rivers thaw, new life still walks into that depression. Mice and birds, then foxes, then eagles, then bears. Generation after generation, they repeat the same behavior. They never learn. This is a silent, inexorable self-destruction. Not a choice, but an instinct. Fire and sulfur buried kilometers beneath the Earth's crust push the creatures on the surface toward death. Their bodies do not decay on the sulfur layer. They slowly turn to amber, until eventually they are crushed by the life that comes after. The taboo of the Valley of Death is not that you will die if you walk in. It is that if you walk in and die, your companions will not know why you fell. From a safe high ridge in the distance, all they see is a still, quiet, utterly unthreatening miniature canyon. Colorful, soft-contoured like a cut-out landscape painting. You cannot see its killer. It is quieter than you can imagine.